Hello guys, and welcome to the middle of the Western Cape winter. Not the best weather, to be honest, for fast driving, but what we have here is something that actually should take it in its stride. This is the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, a 3.5 million rand, 471 kilowatt, 850 Newton meters monster of an SUV. It's also obviously all-wheel drive, so the little bit of damp on the road shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, this is the first time that Porsche puts the GT badge on a Cayenne, so it's quite an occasion. And you wouldn't really say it by looking at the car. It doesn't really look all that different. A little bit bigger on the air dams. There's, you know, slight changes to the front spoiler. Towards the rear, you'll notice a carbon fiber roof. Got carbon fiber mirrors on the side as well. Ceramic brakes, as you can see as well. And then a neat little spoiler on top, at the top of the tailgate, and then a extending one at the lip as well. So visually, not the brashest of SUV coupes, but yeah, I think it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, as they say. Let's see what you can do. Porsche has been very kind to give me the keys to this Cayenne Turbo GT for 2 days. Unfortunately for me, yeah, these 2 days coincide with a bit of a rainstorm. Actually, pretty much a downpour here in Cape Town. So I'm out on the hunt for a little bit of dry road, hopefully, to test it in the twisties. Until then, just a quick rundown of some numbers, because they are impressive. Under the bonnet is the 4-litre turbocharged V8 that you will also find in a whole bunch of other Volkswagen Group products, including the Audi RS-Q8 and the Lamborghini Urus. But it has been tweaked quite significantly, not necessarily only with the aim of increasing its power output, but also its strength, I guess. Nevertheless, 471 kilowatts, that's a lot of power. That's more power than what you get from, slightly more power than the BMW X6 M Competition and the Mercedes AMG GLE 63S. Also 850 Newton meters of torque, which again beats the BMW, but it's the same as in the Mercedes. I guess a key difference between all three of them is, or in favor of the Porsche anyway, is that the Porsche is lighter, and it is a Porsche, and it has been tweaked by the GT team at Porsche. So you get a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of 3.3 seconds, which is just mind-blowing. Top speed 300 kilometers per hour. Again, supercar territory. 4-seat, comfortable cross-country vehicle. Faster than the Mercedes and the BMW. And interestingly, at a claimed consumption figure of 11.9, it's also more economical, claimed anyway, than the Mercedes and the BMW. Again, I think the weight obviously does play a role. So yeah, it's packs a hefty punch, this thing. It sounds incredible. It's got that titanium exhaust at the back. And yeah, I don't even have the exhaust mode on. Guys, this rain looks relentless, so I'm not sure how far I'm going to have to drive to find a dry bit of road or drier piece of road. But it's no pain really, because yeah, this is a lovely car to spend time in. It's very comfortable. The suspension setup in its standard mode is stiffer than in a turbo or in a GTS. It's also lower. It's 7 millimeters, I think, lower than the GTS, which in turn is, I think, about 8 mils lower than a turbo. And as I said, this is stiffer than both of them, but it rides bumps really well. It's just very well controlled, beautiful damping. It's obviously got adaptive air suspension, so you can adjust the settings and make it stiffer and even more say flat in the corners if you like to. And I hope I find a road where I can test that out. The roads are incredibly wet and slippery at the moment. It's got fantastic grip, I can tell you already, in the few corners that I've had. And just feels rock solid on the road, so planted. Stuck in traffic. So I'm just thinking, what is wrong with a Cayenne Coupe Turbo GT? And nothing really springs to mind. I would say that at 3.5 million rand, it should have all the features. And it doesn't. As you can see, probably, it doesn't have a panoramic roof. It's got heated front and rear seats, which are nice, but you pay extra for ventilation. It's got cruise control as standard, but not adaptive cruise control. And there are a few other little things like lane keep assist and so on that you pay extra for. And then most importantly, 360-degree panoramic sort of camera view, which, you know, is pretty much standard fare on Chinese SUVs at 500,000 rand these days. So to charge extra for that on a 3.5 million rand Porsche, that's a bit cheeky, I think. So yeah, maybe that's the problem, because and the only real flaw that I can find with a Cayenne, because the rear space is actually pretty good. Even with the sloping roof, I sit very comfortably in the back. And the boot, in terms of liters, I think it's just under 500 liters. It's a little bit smaller than what is offered by the Germans, bit more. The gap is a bit bigger with the Merc, but I mean, it's still a very nice size boot. You can have it fitted with an electronically deployed tow bar, make it even more practical. It is 4 seats only. The rear has been set up for 2 people only. There isn't even a safety belt for the middle, if there was a passenger. So it is a fast 4-seat SUV. Okay, the roads are still quite wet and it is still raining, although not as heavily as before, but anyway, let's give it a little go. I'm going to change to sport mode. That changes the drive mode to sport, the chassis to sport, chassis level to low, also activates the exhaust, and the spoiler is extended. Now, manual. Because it is a kind of a good test of an all-wheel drive performance car as well. A little bit of wetness on the road. Even in sport mode and on these wet roads, the stability system allows for a little bit of slip to happen before it actually jumps into action. Saves your bacon. It's great. Okay, so a couple of things you have to know about the Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo GT from a dynamics point of view. Massive wheels, 22-inch wheels, 285/35 tires in the front, 315 30s at the back. Lots of grip from the four-wheel drive system. It's also got Porsche vectoring, torque vectoring plus, and rear wheel steering. So what you get is, especially in the low speed corners, the car just pivots in a way that you wouldn't expect from such a big, heavy, high center of gravity machine. It corners and it steers and it changes direction like a sports car, like a GT. This particular car also has carbon ceramic brakes, which I'm very happy about at the moment, because these are very tricky conditions that I'm driving in. Oh, and the other thing that you should keep in mind, which is lovely to see on a very focused performance car like this, is that when you're in manual mode, you are in proper manual mode. This thing will hit the limiter and stay on the limiter and not shift until you shift. Yeah, it's just so confidence inspiring. I don't think I would have had the same confidence to push this hard in the X6 and the GLE 63. They're just not as tactile in terms of their driver feedback, in terms of, you know, which of the wheels have traction or not, what the car's reaction is going to be to an input, and if slip does happen, it happens sort of progressively and controllably, even in these conditions. Okay, verdict time. This is a fantastic car. This is the best high performance SUV coupe that you can buy. It's simple as that. It is 3.5 million rand, which is a lot of money, and you don't even get a full house of features for that money. But again, this is a car that is just dynamically at a different level in terms of engagement, just the sheer joy of driving. It is probably worth, on that alone, the extra 400,000 rand over its other German rivals. What they've done here is really make a GT Cayenne, and I didn't think it was possible, but once again I guess Porsche has proven us wrong. This is a superb machine, and it's superb not just because of the numbers that it pushes out, or the grip that it has, or its ability to change direction, which is unbelievable for a car this size. It is a superb machine because it actually does justice to the GT badge on it as a Porsche, not as a Cayenne, but as a Porsche. So if you've been driving GT Porsches all your life, 911s and so on, and you've come to the point where maybe you're looking at another daily, a more comfortable, sort of maybe a more family friendly offering, but you want to maintain that GT-ness when you have that driving opportunity in front of you, the right road, this is a car that will deliver. And I don't think there is another SUV, I think, not even the Urus really, I think delivers this kind of purity. There's a lot of drama with the Urus, obviously, and obviously it's a lot more expensive, and it's, you know, also very fast, and it also handles very well. But I guess expectations with the GT Porsche is just very specific, and Porsche has very specifically delivered on what the GT badge means. Yeah, if a very high performance sports SUV coupe for around 3.5 million rand floats your boat, this is the one you should buy. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and all the support so far. Really appreciate it. Catch you soon.